Deputy Minister of Labour, SMP is the Secretary, the Ministry of Labour, Suranga Gunaratne, Director General, National Institute of Labour Studies, and Commissioner General of Labour, and additional secretaries, heads of other institutions, distinguished invitees, parents, and recipients of diploma holders and certificates holders. Indeed, it's my great pleasure to be here at this remarkable occasion, especially in your individual lives. And on the other hand, being the institute that is NILES, in pursuit of discharging its responsibilities toward the society, it's a remarkable occasion. So let me thank and commend the National Institute of Labour Studies for all of your works, commitments, and efforts in facilitating this teaching learning environment and introducing of relevant courses, training, and all sort of works in developing education in Sri Lanka, especially related to labor studies. Today, we gathered here, especially for what? To recognize and award your commitments, your great achievements that you have put together over a relatively long period of time by sacrificing other things, mainly your time, your money, other things, your pleasure, even hard working. Sometimes we know that studying in Sri Lanka is relatively hard because the learning environment is not that conducive. Sometimes we may have to take extra hours to learn without having sleepless nights, with less facilities, equipments, and meantime we have to achieve our day-to-day things as well. So that I know very well this great achievement has sacrificed a lot and taken lots of things from you. So first of all, I congratulate everyone so gathered here to receive your certificates and diplomas for your efforts in learning. In fact, why do we need learning? Why do we need education? What is the significance of learning? We may have different answers. You may also argue this way or that way. Sometimes we may see education as a tool to put your bearings in the economy or to find a job or the employment opportunity or the means of income by doing or engaging in economic activities in any given society. However, of course, that also serves. However, it has a broader definition and broader boundary. It's not mere acquiring certificates or diplomas or not merely expanding your competencies. Of course, your learning gives you knowledge, required skills and attitudes that constitute the competencies. But in real terms, the evolution of the societies, the learning really matters to change many things. It becomes catalyst. It improves your capacity in many ways, in many frontiers. So this is the education is the unparalleled, the variable in the world where everyone can come out and compete in par with our other nations. If we compare the natural resources, technologies that you have earned, or all the resources that the world has, there may be differences. Lots of discrepancies are there. Big countries, developed countries, they have lots of resources. They can easily conquer other economies and can become bigger, leaving many countries as very small. So that could be one of the reasons why still we are struggling in terms of physical development or the economic developments. Still we are struggling. But mind that education is an unparalleled tool. We can compete with the world. Education improves your capacity. What's the purpose of education? What's the purpose of learning? There are arguments. Of course, one argument is that we need to train you, educate you, provide knowledge, improve your skills, whereas you would deliver more, your labor efficiency and productivity would increase. That's one argument. That is what we call indoctrination. Indoctrination, where we follow the rules, regulations, and what we are told to do. That is one aspect, especially when it comes to labor engaged in production. But on the other hand, other argument is the enlightenment. The education is mainly for the purpose of questioning the world. So why we are the today's world, why we are at this particular, the level of development is mainly due to the efforts of questioning the world and critically looking at things. That is what we call enlightenment. So most of our education programs may have different purposes, but of course we can claim that we are success and we are really catering if we can have a right blend of these two purposes. The questioning the world while gaining required competencies. So if we relate this particular purpose to the present landscape of Sri Lankan economy, society, we strongly believe that education can be a catalyst, can be a game changer. That's the reason why our government, even before forming the government, we stated the significance, we recognized the significance of education in many ways. Of course, this is one way of pulling our country out of this particular abyss. So we take all the efforts, not only the professional institutions like this, in other areas as well, universities, primary education and school education, all areas, education would be a key driver in developing our country for sure. Then again, your education is pretty much connected to labor education. I've just noted that these diplomas and certificates cater for different aspects of labor. Of course, labor, the significance of labor again matters, mainly for the production. I have seen the vision statement of the National Institute of Labor Studies, mainly to bring about industrial peace, harmony, avoiding conflicts, so whereby increasing productivity of labor and achieving efficiency in labor. Yes, that's good. However, this mode of labor relations, production relations, so sometimes now are seen as traditional mode of labor relations. Why I am saying that? When we live in a society where everyone is taught to maximize one's individual satisfaction, it really creates a conflicting environment antagonizing environment. If we put that to relate it to production relationships, mainly in production relationships we talk about employer-employee relationship. But of course, there are many more stakeholders, counterparts are there in the production relationships, including the consumer, including the supply of materials, other arrangements, so auxiliary services. Likewise, lots of relationships and engagements are there, but we mainly talk about relationship between employer and employee. What's the nature of employer-employee relationship in our society, in most of societies in the world? These antagonizing relationships. So therefore, adversarial nature always promotes us to bargain, come to tables, negotiate. So end result would really depend on your bargaining power. How best you bargain, how best you have access to information. If you are weak, if you are put into a place where you're weaker, even in the name of democracy, even in the name of good or healthy relationships, actually healthy relationships will not be achieved. So we come to a solution that is highly temporary. That is the reason why always when we come to peaceful environment, good relationship, even lots of arrangement between employees, what happens? Within a short period of time, it erupts again. Because we try to find solutions while leaving the environment conflicting each other, creating suspicions and mistrust. So that is not the way forward for future. As of now, of course, since we are living in such a society, first we need to address all those things. So in doing so, I believe that the Nile's the contribution would serve to some extent. As far as the government vision or ideology is concerned, actually we would like to have a conflict-free working environment, production environment. How best we could achieve? Of course, we may not be able to see this because as of now, what we see, what we practice, what we observe are totally different what I am talking about. That's the future. This is where the technology talks about. This is how societies are evolving. If you carefully look at, now there is no room for us to create conflicts, create problems and find solution. Now the room or the challenge is there to create a conducive environment where there are no conflicts. How are we going to achieve these things? Of course, through collaborations, cooperations, and through democratic engagement, sharing information. We need to maintain integrity in that way, especially when it comes to production relationships. Every stakeholder should be given that opportunity, and every stakeholder should be held accountable for the task assigned for individuals to fulfill their task in the production relationship, no matter whether it is a production of goods or services. So how best the value is created? So what is your responsibility? How you are really served, catered, and facilitated to achieve this objective? So that is the way forward. So being the government, we strongly believe that we can facilitate it. So I urge the recipients of diploma holders and other stakeholders, NILES and employers, and those who really want to have a better society to join hands, work together to achieve this important task. And again, finally, in establishing these new production relationships, technology also alters lots of things, changes the landscape of production labor relationships. It is evident, we know that how far technology has gone, but again, we can question whether the appropriate technology that the world has achieved has really passed to Sri Lanka, especially in the production places, even the education and other places. To some extent, we can see the technology. But the benefits of the technology, whether we are getting the benefits of technology in an appropriate and fair manner, is a question. So in addressing or establishing a good production relationships, we need to think of incorporating, bringing technology into all the places whereby value is generated through collective efforts, through participation, and the benefits of this technology is also shared in a fair manner. That is a big challenge, we know that. But I think now everyone is set to face these challenges, because especially the bigger part of these challenges is done or is connected to the political will. The political will of our government is as same as your will, your wish, human's wish. So human wants to live in peace. Human wants to have a better life. Human has an enormous capacity of collaborating each other. Humans have the capacity to be highly flexible. If all these qualities are put together for a common purpose, shared purpose, I think with the proper political leadership, the success would be immense. It is quite possible. So with that, I conclude the speech by again congratulating those who are going to receive certificates and diplomas at this special event, and requesting you to be more inspirational and to take efforts to transform Sri Lankan society to a better place where we can live in peace and harmony with a dignified life. Thank you very much.